Kick Down the Barriers has been a project led by Blackburn Museum Art Gallery, and it's been a response in part to the two BBC Panorama programmes that label Blackburn as deeply divided and segregated.
Blackburn was being seen as in very negative light in the media. We were segregated, we didn't mix, we didn't talk, and actually we knew that was wrong within the museum, but we wanted to bring it out so that the communities actually had their own voice, got their own stories alongside those collections that we already hold.
Being a local resident, we were not very happy about the way we were being presented. This project allowed me to constructively take that resentment and turn it into something beautiful, a beautiful response to it.
Over the past year, we've had artists and writers working really closely with different communities in Blackburn to redefine some of the labels about their town.
We could really unpick some of the dynamics between our friendship, which started off as tutor and student, then moved into these studios and this gallery space, and we're working together, and we had a chance to sort of fill in the gaps a little bit. So we went for letter writing.
We just emailed one another letters and responded to one another like that. Yeah, it just kind of became like a conversation. We wrote the letters and we were like, okay, how are we going to show them? But then the lockdown came and it kind of gave us a sort of a platform, didn't it?
It did. What I can't stop thinking about are the things you said in your last letter about being viewed as an exotic creature. And I'm worried, of course, that I contributed to that by constantly asking about some horses. We wanted to do a letter reading performance. We were going to read the letters in public. And there's like a tradition of that in these like Victorian spaces. And I was really excited by that, but I was more excited when we did the Zoom, actually.
This was important as I too wore a hijab and people were reading the news and bore opinions. And I was eager, but also afraid to know what my own classmates thought. And gladly, they found the act making the headlines just as racist and ridiculous as I did.
William has been working in response to some of the archives and collections of Blackburn Museum, and specifically the South Asian collections.
We have a South Asian gallery. It opened 30 years ago, and what we wanted to do was look at that gallery and see whether it was still relevant.
We've got the objects, which are really interesting objects. Then we've got their wonderful stories, which are attached to those objects, which are quite intriguing, I think. It's finding a niche in that system of curation, in a way. To me, the whole project revealed the significance of dialogue in kind of building or creating a sense of community and a sense of play.
Through Kick Down the Barriers, I was really passionate that not only were we having artists responding and working with communities, but also that writers were commissioned to help contextualise some of the work that was going on and put writing back out there to be up against some of the negative press and media.
It's a joint piece of work between Aziz and I, and I'm really keen that the words are seen alongside the pictures, because you need those words in order to understand the broader context. There has been some academic research, there's been some anthropology and some social research done around this. And what I can bring to it is I can make that level of academic or theoretical understanding, I can make it visible and reach a different audience that perhaps Aziz might not reach.
I went to do some work and spend some time at the Art, Refugee and Asylum Centre in Blackburn. I'm seeking out the common ground, that piece of manicured lawn, barren scrub, metalled road or corrugated shack. Working in the refugee centre was something that was completely new to me and something that I would never have imagined ever doing.
No one really speaks about the positive aspects of Audley, so I thought, why don't I apply, see what happens, and then I can get into it with my art and start showing people different sides of the Audley area and how I see it and how I've known it as I've grown up. And just talking to people about my work and about the project and hearing their opinions and views, I feel like I've definitely made a stronger connection with my area and brought to issues that I wasn't really aware of myself.
It's been absolutely fantastic working with Sima. I feel she seemed to really resonate with the aims of the project. It's been amazing, the process of her gaining that confidence over the year within herself, within her practice, and this is the first ever exhibition she's ever been a part of, and I'm so proud of her.
It's just given me that extra boost and, motivation to paint more often.
I applied for the commission because I thought it was an exciting prospect and a chance for the communities to engage together and bring people together. My part of the exhibition, we've got a series of photographs that have basically documented a few photographs from before lockdown where people could actually stand one next to one another of the hidden communities, because that's what I started off photographing. And then obviously it changed and we moved into photographing individuals on the doorsteps who were like unsung heroes. I'm just so privileged to get involved with such a fantastic, exciting opportunity.
Things like the work that Karen's done in Mill Hill has really developed her practice, and we've started further conversations about how we work with her in the future.
Paul Nataraj is a sound artist, and he's been working over the past year with communities in Whalley Range. Paul has been working with podcasts, and he's been working really closely with 5 individuals and just listening to their stories and their experiences of living and working and growing up and being in Blackburn.
My initial kind of proposal for the project was to take away this kind of idea that the media is somehow a closed door, to give the power back to the people's voice who are partaking in it.
My dad was born in Pakistan, but he came here when he was 14, and then he started working in the mills with his dad.
I wanted the people who were working with me to listen to them and go, I love this stuff, this is great. And this is really a reflection of who I am, and that's been the response that I've got from everybody, and they're really happy.
I've worked with 8 schools in the local area to help children to create self-portraits which explore and communicate who they are, what they're passionate about, and how they see themselves as young people in Blackburn. Because I wasn't able to go into the schools because of COVID and lockdown, we had to find a way of me being there without physically being there. So I made a series of films that were sent into the schools.
What I like is how it changes how I look at the galleries. I love how the kids' pictures all the way round the Victorian Art Gallery make me look at the portraits in there differently.
For me, this project has had a really big impact on Blackburn. I think the amount of people that all of our artists and writers have been able to connect with and work with and engage. I've only heard positive things. Being able to see people respond to the work and people really connect with the work, and for the work to really resonate with people and mean something. And I think that's always really special.
Somebody once said that if people were all the same, we'd have no need for assorted biscuits. I really like that because it's the differences that make us interesting.
It's something for everyone, I think, and it does really, really, really make you reflect, stop, think, look, and consider where we live and what it's about. It's really important work at a really timely moment.
I think it's elevated Mill Hill and Ewood. I think it's saying, yes, come in, look at us, this is what we're about. And I think that's great because they're all really proud about what they do, and so they should be.
Despite how important the commission is to fight back, in a sense, to kick down the barriers, but actually the quality of the work now has a life of its own, and I want to see that extend. I'd love to see more of everything, really.
The entirety of the exhibition is a real example of museums and institutionalized spaces being opened up to alternative narratives, and I think we've managed to achieve that in a really powerful way.